Hey everyone, happy Predators Day, where NECA Toys and fans combine the word Predator with Wednesday, the day of the week. I am Anthony Scott of ToyHopUSA.com. Today we are reviewing the Ultimate Battle Damage City Hunter Predator as seen in Predator 2. This figure is available now, and I would like to thank NECA Toys for providing him for review. Greatly appreciated. The figure is packaged in the standard window box with an opening flap, and you can see the artwork beautifully done. Detective Flanagan is in the background there where you see my fingers pointing, and the City Hunter Predator is hunting him. They're battling. So really loving the artwork. Beautifully done. Here's a look at the top of the box. And of course, here's a look at the bottom, giving you the names of all the great people at NECA Toys responsible for bringing him together. Here is a look at the side here. And of course, the back. Now, the back has several images of the figure, I should say, which you see right here, various poses, and it gives you a look at additional figures that are available as seen in Predator 2. There's also a description right here on top, so there's a closer look at that. Pause the video if you need more time to read it. Here we have a closer look at the opening flap, which includes the Predator figure inside the box. On the right there, you see the Predator inside a plastic tray along with all of his accessories. Here's a look at the Predator along with all of his accessories. He includes a smart disc, both open and closed, interchangeable hands, both open and closed staff, a helmet, and an interchangeable head sculpt that we're also going to be checking out. He also includes his hand, which was cut off in the film, and that is unattached right here, and that can be reattached to his arm, which you see right there. So what I'm going to do now is take him out of the packaging, and let's take a closer look. Here is your in-hand look at the Ultimate Battle Damage City Hunter Predator figure, as seen in Predator 2. As you can see, he has that green blood splatter on his chest right there, and also his thigh, which is very nicely done. You normally don't see blood splatter on NECA Predator figures. It's really not something you see very often. So when they do release a figure with this type of battle damage, it's definitely something special and sticks out nicely on the shelf. You also are going to notice that his arm being cut off here, and that's a closer look there. That's very nicely done. There's also a hole right there where the forearm and hand can be plugged back into. A lot of the tooling and components are similar to this figure, what we've previously seen with the line, such as the retractable blades right here, the holster for the smart disc, which you see on his hip right here, and as well as the armor, which is very nicely done, very nicely painted. And it definitely looks like it's aged, it's worn. So paint apps on this are just really, really stellar as always. Here's a closer look at that. And here's a closer look at the arm. You'll see they even have all that really nice sculpted detail and design right around here. A couple of these patches are loose, which you see around here. This is a bone with some kind of pouch thing, and there's another one on the side here. These are not removable. They're just tied around his torso, things like that. And of course, let's take a closer look at the armor here, as well as the paint applications on the feet, which are also very nicely done. He also includes two head sculpts. This one here has a mask, which is not removable, but the paint applications on the forehead here, very nicely done. One other thing about this particular head sculpt is that he has a tube which is connected to the bottom of it. There's your look there. And that hangs, that can go around the back here, but it's also not connected to anything. So there's nowhere on the body that this other end can connect to. So what I did, I brought it around the back, as I just said, and I just kind of stuck it back here behind the plasma cannon, and basically just to do something with it. But it doesn't really connect anywhere. There's no hole or anything. So I find that a little bit confusing, because normally NECA would have it plug into something, but in this case, I can't find anywhere on the entire body where he can plug it in, and reference images online, they don't help. So again, you could just kind of just stick it in like that, although it worked a few moments ago. But anyway, you also see a little bit of blood splatter right back here on his back here, and these beads on his hair, very nicely done, multiple different colors. So a lot of great detail here. The mask, it also has a metallic bronze finish on there, and it's painted with a wash, which makes it look worn and dirty. So that's also very nicely done. You also see his eyes, his glaring eyes looking at you. So beautifully done. Here's a look at the unmasked head sculpt. This time, the mouthpiece is removed, but he has all that same great facial details and everything that you saw on this other one, including the same pattern on his forehead right here. And one more thing, you also see that this cable piece is removed. And again, this wasn't connected to any piece on his body. I think it's to prevent a breakage issue. So if that was connected to something and you took the head off, it could snap. So maybe that's why they left it the way it did, just to play the side of caution, as this figure is a bit on the fragile side. The facial details on this head sculpt, very nicely done, as always. And again, here's a look at the arm. Loving this battle damage look. Really, really something special and stellar that they done here. Let's raise this up a little bit. And here's a look at the back of the head. It's the same as the other one. Here's a look with the arm attached. I also went ahead and put the staff on his back, as there's a clip back there which can hold up the staff. So we've also seen that with other Predator figures throughout the line. But this removable forearm here is something that I don't think we've seen before. I definitely don't have any figure with a removable arm like that. So if they did, it was probably more than 5, 6, 7 years ago. I'm not exactly sure. But off the top of my head, I have not seen that before. So that's definitely a new feature for me anyway. And again, very nicely done. You see how this all lines up, all these little details and everything. And you see the cut right there. So you can still move the arm, and you see the green blood as I'm moving it. The hand can also come out and be swapped out with a different one, as well as this hand here. However, these blades make it a little bit harder to take out the hand. So what I would do is use a hairdryer, loosen up the peg joint, and just be extremely careful when removing this hand right here, because you don't want to risk breaking this. Let's take a look at the back here, and here's a look at the clip that you see holding up the staff. Again, we've seen that pretty much, I think, every Predator figure ever released that's come with the staff, so this feature wouldn't be new, or shouldn't be new to you, especially if you have any other Predator figure. Here's a closer look at his staff. It's painted in a metallic silver with a wash on it that makes it look rusted and used. So they did a really nice job on this. It includes the same sculpt as previously seen with many other Predator figures throughout the line. And both tips of it are on the fragile side. So just be aware of that when taking it out of packaging. It could snap at you right where I'm pointing there. So there's a closer look at that. Here's another look at the staff, this time in the other hand, which I swapped out. I also went ahead and removed the forearm to give you guys a look at this way to display the figure. Here's a look at the closed staff, which has also been offered with many other Predator figures throughout the line. It's also painted in metallic silver with a really nicely done wash on there. And while we're looking at that, I also want to show you these silver deco pieces on the hand there. That's a very nice addition to it, and that's consistent through all the hand sculpts. So has these black things on the finger with a little bit of a metallic silver, let's say ball or something. It's a nice little detail there. And there's a look at the other side of the staff. It could fit on either one of these open grip hand sculpts, which you see here. Here's a closer look at one of his smart discs. This one is circular, and you can put it on this spot on his hip here, which, if you were noticing, it's been on him throughout several shots already. This is painted in a metallic copper and very nicely done. It's the same as previously offered with other Predator figures. For him to hold it, you put his fingers through it as shown. It doesn't perfectly line up, so maybe usually 2 fingers can fit through there. That's the best I've ever able to do it. Here's a look at the open smart disc. It's very similar to the other one. However, the center part is extended, which you see there. Oops. And again, these fit through his fingers. You can see just how fragile this figure is. So very carefully put it through 1 to 2 fingers. Just enough for him to hold it. Since the forearm can easily fall off, this makes it a little bit more fragile compared to other Predator figures. But anyway, so there's the extended piece that I was just talking about earlier. And you see the sculpt is great. There's definitely a lot to love about this. Let's take a look at it from the other side. There's a look there. Here's a look at all of his accessories, which you see here. What I don't think I've shown was both of the open hands for the right hand there. It's just a little hard to swap all them out with the retractable blades, so I went with the side of caution. This hand here, I think it's best for the smart disc, so you can put the discs in that hand. And this one here, I believe, is the one that he started off with at the beginning of the review, and what was on him when he was in packaging. Overall, the Battle Damage City Hunter Predator is a phenomenal figure. Loving what I'm seeing. I'm personally truly loving the blood deco that's on his chest and leg there. The removable forearm, nice touch. I think they did a very nice job on that. Both head sculpts came out great. It's great paint applications done throughout as always. The sculpt is always phenomenal, and great accessories. Overall, he's a great figure, and I highly recommend him for your collection. Thank you again to NECA for providing him for review. Greatly appreciate that. I am Anthony Scott of ToyHopUSA.com. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for more coverage.